All right. Well, you ready to do a little bit of Judge Akin?
I am.
All right. Here we go.
Is that gum in your mouth, Donnie?
No.
You have a little crush on me?
No. Yeah. I don't know what I'm supposed to say right now.
You know, I've been watching you all year, Donnie. When you hit that shot to beat Fairfield and you were jumping up and down in your little Larry Bird short shorts and sweating like a jar of pickles in the hot sun. God, that was so hot.
Is this really happening?
This is happening. It's happening right now in my office.
Okay, awesome. So I'm totally in. How do you want to do it? Because I made sex before lots of ways. So you want to go straight to hand jobs or eating me out or taking me from behind?
I'll teach you.
I'm a virgin.
All right. I don't think the sentencing for this lady is going to bode well in Judge Akin's court.
All right.
A teacher accused of sending a pupil a card asking, "Who else can I be a slut with?" after they had sex and has been cleared of all charges.
Okay.
Deborah, Deborah, Lowe, Lowe,
Okay.
54.
Guilty.
Wiped away tears as she was told she could leave the dock and was free to go by the judge following a 7-day trial in Minshull Street, Crown Court, Manchester today.
Look at her photos, dude. Oh, no. Now, she had sex or did not have sex?
Well, it says that she had sex.
All right.
And she wanted more. She was saying, "Who could I be a slut for?"
Well, is there more to the story?
There is more to the story.
Because I can rule right now, but if you go ahead and read the rest, let me hear the rest of the evidence before I rule on this one.
All right. The jury, who were out for 2 hours and 7 minutes deliberating, found Lowe not guilty of 5 counts of sexual activity with a child by a person in a position of trust. Lowe had admitted to having sex with the teenager after being flattered by the attention of the boy and was having a midlife crisis when they began their relationship. The divorcee said at the time she'd become interested in the meditation and yoga visits, sold her flat in suburban Cheshire, and given up her job as the head of the pastoral care at a high school. She later went traveling in India to explore her faith. But she maintained the relationship with the boy, 35 years her junior, only became sexual after he had left school and he was age 17.
Okay.
The prosecution had alleged that sex began when the boy was 16, and although old enough to legally consent, Lowe broke the law by having sex with him when being a person in a position of trust, that is, being his teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier, the court heard that in a jokey WhatsApp. What is that?
WhatsApp?
Yeah.
It's a phone thing.
Okay. Message to a friend, Lowe told her she was not having sex with the boy and described herself as a mother figure. But she added, if not in the too distant future, he wants to discuss the merits of an older woman, I will be there for him, followed by emojis of a bottle of baby oil and a pair of handcuffs.
Jesus.
The teenager had told the jury after flirting at school they swapped phone numbers and first engaged in phone sex before a sexual encounter in her home, car, and caravan.
Wow.
The former air hostess, who had worked in education for 14 years, Lowe told the jury sex first took place after he contacted her around December of 2016, 3 months after he left school, and she told him him to her flat in the Stockport area in Greater Manchester. They kissed and had sex, and later on also had sex at his home while his mother was away. How
old? I'm sorry?
He's 16.
Okay, go ahead.
Who Lowe knew was out of the house. The relationship continued into 2017 with more secret liaisons in the caravan where she lived. Mm-hmm. She sent him a card signing off "The Slut," a name they used during rough sex sessions, where he pulled her hair and she bit and scratched his back till it bled.
Wow.
The boy told jurors it was every lad's fantasy to have sex with a teacher, but admitted later feeling creeped out by the age gap.
But he liked fucking her.
Oh, he liked fucking her.
He liked fucking her, but he was like, what am I doing? I'm fucking this old hag.
Yeah. Police were called in last summer after his mother found the card that Lowe sent him.
Whoops.
Lowe, who has a daughter, aged 28, and a son who's 20, said later she felt mortified and embarrassed over her foolish infatuation and denied being sexually obsessed with the youngster. Neil Usher, defending Lowe, described the complainant as an attention-seeking fantasist who also claimed sex began when he was age 15 so he could sell his story to a tabloid newspaper.
Wow.
A single allegation of having sex with a child when the complainant was age 15 was withdrawn by the prosecution during the trial. The judge instructed the jury to return a not guilty verdict on that charge after the boy gave evidence which suggested he was 16, not 15, when he first had sexual contact with Ms. Lowe.
Okay.
The defendant of Poynton, Cheshire, had denied 5 counts of sexual activity with a child by a person in position of trust said to have taken place between September of 2015 and June of 2016. Cleared, she left the court and her solicitor read a statement on her behalf. It said, "The last 9 months have been extremely difficult for me and my family. I would like to take this opportunity to thank them for their love and their care. I'm grateful for the support from the former colleagues, friends, and past pupils who sent messages of support. Although incredibly stressful and upsetting at times, I'm extremely pleased I have had the opportunity to clear my name, and I'm delighted that the jury acquitted me of all counts."
All right.
It's time for sentencing from Judge Akin.
All right. Well, this is actually a more complex case than you might think.
I'm glad you took all the evidence into consideration before just sentencing her on her looks only.
No, on her looks, she's guilty, and she's doing some hard time. But she's not an attractive lady. I mean, she's all right, I guess. I mean, for an old hag, she's all right. And I guess it's weird for me to say that she's an old hag. She's our age, but yeah, she looks every bit of our age. So, she obviously adds some years there. Since she has those years, she adds them. A kid's first sexual experience should not come from anybody that has liver spots all over her tits. So that adds more time. That just has to add more time. Her hair looks like a wig. That should add more time. It looks like straw.
Yeah, she's got a straw head.
Yeah, she's I don't know. Her eyes are pretty, I guess. Probably look great when they weren't fucking all wrinkled up with bags under them. But when she was 20, she was probably a looker. But now, not even a good hooker. I mean, she's not that good looking. That being said, though, the kid takes years back off her sentence for at least admitting this time that he wanted to fuck her. And it doesn't sound like he's running to the police saying she raped me or anything. It sounds like he's admitting that he was gonna, he was happy to stick his cock in this old bitch.
Yeah, he went willingly.
Yeah. So After careful deliberation and a very wide review of the last 3 minutes of content here, I am going to sentence her to 8 months in prison.
Judge Akin has ruled.
I have ruled.
8 months.
Next case.
All right. The next case. She was so quiet but obsessed with sex. A British woman accused of sleeping with a boy 14 in the U.S. was treated for sex addiction as a teenager, says the former lover.
Uh-oh.
A British woman arrested for underage sex in the U.S. had treatment for sex addiction as a teenager.
Uh-oh.
Sarah McGill, SarahMcGill, was arrested in a hotel in Orlando and accused of having sex with a 14-year-old boy.
She from Australia?
Yes.
Okay.
She is from British woman. She's a British woman, it says.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at her pictures now. Okay. Continue.
All right. Let's see here. She would also regularly cheat on her young girlfriend, it was alleged. So not only did she have a girlfriend, but she was banging 14-year-old boys.
And how old is this girl?
This girl is 23, I believe. 29. She's 29.
Okay.
McGill met Emma McWaters, 27, a body piercer. She was just 14 and Emma was 13 at a rock nightclub at a local liberal club in Hawick, Scotland.
Okay.
Let's see here. Emma said McGill had a split personality, and although she could be quiet and reserved, she was so preoccupied with sex that she had sex addiction counseling as a teenager. In an interview, Emma said it didn't work. Sarah was such a quiet girl but obsessed with sex. It was like she had two personalities. The quiet Sarah who barely spoke and her double life sleeping with people. McGill appeared in court in Florida earlier this week, charged with lewd and lascivious battery. She and the teenage boy allegedly starting texting each other before they arranged to meet at the Marriott hotel room in Orlando and had sex.
Okay, now one more time. How old is the boy and how old is she at this time?
The boy is 14.
Okay.
And she's 29.
All right, so slight difference. 15 years.
Yeah.
All right.
Recalling her first meeting with McGill, Emma said that the girls swapped numbers and started texting and chatting to each other and would meet up and hang out together. They didn't start a sexual relationship until she was older, but once when the girls were out drinking in a park, McGill pulled down her trousers in front of her friends.
Her trousers?
Well, this is England, so.
Yeah.
Emma, who is now happily married to Sharon, 40, said, I was shocked and embarrassed. I was only 14 and not yet sexually active. I couldn't believe she did it, and I was really upset, but I loved Sarah. She tried to give me oral sex, but I didn't let her. She said she could go back. She said we should go back to mine, but we didn't that night. We started a sexual relationship later on. Sarah was bisexual and said she had a relationship with men, but that she was only seeing me. However, Emma claimed that McGill saw several other people during the relationship. She was also beautiful, and I just wanted to be with her, so I was blinded by that and put up with it. Over the years, Emma said she found endless messages of McGill's phone and computer allegedly showing she had been seeing other men. She had several different identities and profiles on sites like Adult Friend Finder, Vampire Freaks, and webcam sites where she had allegedly shared naked photos and videos.
Wow.
But they carried on seeing each other, and Emma says McGill would come over to her house up to 5 times a week, and each time she would want sex. She said she wasn't very body confident then. She was very skinny and had small boobs. It wasn't very attractive when it came to sex, but when she started lying to me and saying she had to go away, I found out it was to see other men. Emma and McGill went completely off the rails in 2011 when her mom died of cervical cancer before her mom had given her money, and McGill was studying art at Borders College. She moved from the family home into her own place and allegedly started drinking heavily. She would drink a bottle of red wine a day. She didn't eat. She'd have a slice of toast and just take vitamins and meal replacement drinks because she was so obsessed with being skinny. Sarah wanted a celebrity lifestyle. She wanted to be famous. Instead of buying food and putting money in the paying for electric, she'd buy Louis Vuitton shoes. My mom was worried about me. She wanted me to be happy, and she knew Sarah was hurting me and seen me upset. Eventually, when I was 18, I decided I had enough. We split up. Sarah messaged me a few times, but I never really heard much from her after that. McGill allegedly has an escort website under the name of Sophia Bell, offering the perfect girlfriend experience, and asks for a donation of $200 for an hour or $2,000 for a luxury overnight with $600 Christian I don't know, this is a brand name, Christian Louboutin heels.
Yeah.
And La Perla underwear sets on her wish list. Emma says she feels sad seeing a girl she once loved arrested and charged with having sex in the U.S. with a schoolboy. Once again, where do these kids get that kind of money?
I don't know.
McGill has had to surrender her passport, and the court papers showed a space for her signature was filled in with unable mental health. Emma says, I feel sad for her. She's a young girl and has gone down a very dark route in life. She's very troubled, and I don't think anyone really knows what goes on in her mind. I was with her for 5 years, and I feel like I really knew her. I do care for her. She was my first love, but I don't think she will ever change. All she cares about is sex and money and living a celebrity lifestyle. She has fame now, but for all the wrong reasons. I hope what has happened makes her get help, but I don't imagine it will.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a English woman who basically became an escort, I guess, and got caught banging a 14-year-old boy.
She's a whore that banged a 15-year-old in the mix.
Basically.
Okay.
It's time for sentencing from Judge Akin.
And I'd like a little order in the chat room. Little order, please. Now my first thought is automatically to find her guilty for a lot of reasons.
All right.
My initial guilty thought comes from the fact that I don't think she's attractive at all.
Okay.
I think she looks like a fucking Rosanna Arquette if she was sick. That's what she looks like, Rosanna Arquette if she had AIDS. Okay. So I don't find her attractive. The things that she does absolutely make me think that she should be taken out back and shot. I hate the fucking Kardashian style, and that just sounds like what she's trying to be, a Kardashian. Trying to get all skinny, trying to fucking wear designer clothes, trying to be famous for no reason, all of which makes me nauseous and makes me wish that she wasn't on the planet. So that she also purposely has small tits, and that is a fucking major crime in Judge Akin's court. Unfortunately, though, that is not what we're judging her for. We're trying to judge her for fucking a 14-year-old. And even though she's not my speed, She probably weighs as much as a standard 14-year-old that this kid might be fucking, or 15-year-old that this kid might be fucking. So I have to rule not guilty on this charge. Guilty of being a fucking twat, but not guilty for fucking this kid.
What kind of a sentence do you get for being a twat?
Oh, I would give her 25, 30 years for that. But she's not on trial for that, though.
Right.
So we have to go not guilty on this one.
All right. 29-year-old banging a 14-year-old, not guilty.
Not guilty.
How's that gavel working out there, Judge?
I love it.
Nice. All right. We're going to have to figure out a way of miking that up.
Well, I could just hold it up like this.
No, but the thing is all you have to do is get a guest mic, one of the ones that are plugged in, and then just, point it down at the
right.
where the gavel hits, and you'll probably get a good sound out of that.
This is the first time. We'll get it together.
Right.
We're still putting together Chris Akin's courtroom.
Exactly. All right, Judge Akin. Well, that's going to wrap up another edition of the Classic Metal Show.
All right.
We want to thank our good friend Tony Harnell for calling in and being a part of the show.
Excellent.
And answering questions and talking openly and honestly and candidly about some of the career changes that he's made in the recent years.
Sure.
As well as taking a few phone calls from the fans. And, go check him out when he's got the new release for Starbreaker later this year. Or not Starbreaker. Is it Starbreaker? Yeah.
Yes, Starbreaker.
Yeah, I'm mixing that up with Starblind, one of our favorite bands.
Sure.
I will not be here next Saturday. Chris and his cavalcade of goofs will be hosting the show. Then the following week, Chris and I will be together at the Melodic Rock Fest here in Chicago at the Home Bar in Arlington Heights, Illinois.
Sure.
So if you're going to be in the Chicago area May 4th, 5th, and 6th, you can come on out and hang out and maybe see some good bands.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, all right. Well, enjoy your show next week.
I will.
I will be out there
gambling,
laying down a few bets.
There you go. Well, enjoy Vegas. You'll probably have more fun than we will, but have fun.
Hopefully I can hook up with our good friend Nader and maybe see our good friend Tommy Paris.
Yeah.
And maybe a couple other folks.
Yeah, Paul Shortino.
Paul Shortino's out there.
Yeah. That'll be cool.
So we'll see what the week brings. But anyway, we will be back. Chris will be back next Saturday, and then we'll be back 2 weeks after that.
Right.
All right. I'm going to leave you with some Steel Razor.
All right.
I like this band as well. This is from their Regeneration release. And I'm going to leave you with some Metal Maniac.
All right.
So until next Saturday night, this is Neely along with my very good friend
Chris Akin.
And we're gone.
Bye, kids.